Back now with more on Intel with Joanne Feeney, analyst over at FTN Equity Capital Markets in Cleveland. And we've got Bill Whyman, head of the International Strategy and Investment Group's Tech Strategy Research Team in Washington. Bill, let me just kick things off with you here. I mean, you know, Matt and I were kind of joking. It seems like Intel is always involved in some lawsuit. Is something, though, different this time around here, in this case by the FTC?
Yeah, the big thing that jumped out at me was that they're going after graphics processors, or so-called GPUs. You know, the standard chips, what are known as x86 chips, that war is largely over and Intel has won. So the real forward-looking aspect of this case dealt with graphics processors. And one of the things that's new about this is the FTC is specifically trying to get at graphics processors markets, and that's very important in terms of a potential competitive threat to Intel going forward.
I'm guessing, Joanne, that's why NVIDIA, one of the reasons NVIDIA jumped today. Who are the winners here if Intel really takes a hit?
Yeah, certainly. I actually disagree a little bit with Bill on that, and I don't think the game in the computer processor world is over. I think there was certainly a time when AMD had surpassed Intel, and that was when Intel fought the hardest, and that's what a lot of these complaints center on. Now we're seeing a situation where AMD and Intel are much closer in performance. Intel still does have an advantage on battery life in notebooks, but I think what we'll see because of this lawsuit, because of the settlement between AMD and Intel, I think we'll see AMD be taking more share a bit more quickly in the notebook space than they otherwise would have done, at least on the CPU side. But the winners, I think, include AMD. I think it's going to help them gain share more quickly. But also, clearly, NVIDIA, the pressure that they might now not face on the chipset side will be different. In particular, we need to distinguish, though, between the two types of graphics. There's the graphics that you sort of get free with your computer that Intel makes. And then there's the upgrading graphics that you can buy from AMD or from NVIDIA. And then there's an opportunity for you to upgrade your basic level graphics with NVIDIA, what's called chipsets. And that's what this is really about right now. Intel is changing its platform in a way that essentially removes the possibility for a PC maker to build a computer with an Intel CPU and a basic level of graphics that come from NVIDIA. This lawsuit may overturn that block and may allow NVIDIA to continue to sell that lower end of chip for graphics called the chipset.
So let me ask you, Bill, for a response to that. I mean, do you think that there's no way that the playing field can be leveled here? I mean, a lot of people have come out and said, look, Intel has so much money. They just gave AMD $1.25 billion. They're sitting on another $13 billion in cash, and nobody else has the technology to really level the playing field. But do you think that's true, or do you agree with Joanne that some change could really come of this?
Well, I think it's really important to distinguish between, again, the traditional x86 market and the graphics market. You know, in the x86 market, I think it is important to note that netbooks are a new market opening. But, you know, this isn't about, you know, minor changes in battery. Intel's had dominant market share and share of profits for years and years, and I don't see that changing. But with respect to the graphics market, I do think it's not, this is a nascent market. It's certainly not too late, and I think rules and changes in business practices could have a big impact, and particularly benefiting NVIDIA.
You know, we got about
AMD as well.
Joanne, I think we got about 20 seconds left here. I mean, you've got a response here?
Sure. To clarify, I meant notebooks, not the netbook market. Notebooks is where AMD has about 12% share. Compare that to desktops, where they have about 25% share. As consumers start to buy more and more notebooks, I think you'll find that the consumer will, want the choice of having an AMD-based system. So I don't think the war is over in CPU. I think graphics, though, is a future battle. Intel doesn't play in high-end graphics, and they may at some point. And that really could, this FTC investigation could really change the game.
All right, we'll certainly see how this one plays out. Hey, Joanne, thank you so much. Joanne Feeney, analyst over at FTN Equity Capital Markets, and Bill Whyman, head of the ISI Group's Tech Strategy Research Team. Thanks, guys.